saying. I'm just saying, sir. Episode 397 is live. Where's my hat? Jeez. What's going on, boys?
What is going on over there?
All right, I'm gonna start us off because the alert just came on to remind me of what is happening in Arizona. Did we hear Kyler's quote today?
No.
It's not my job to get Marvin Harrison Jr. the ball.
I believe that's what he said. He said, it's not my job, it's the offensive coordinator's job. That's what I saw.
Does he not know he's the one that the ball leaves the hand of when he throws it as the quarterback? Like,
I understand that there are plays that are schemed up for people. That is a thing that happens. Mm-hmm. Every play is supposed to go to somebody. It's your job to figure out which somebody's open. So it's either your fault because you didn't see him open or his fault because you didn't get open. Those are really the two options. Now, I guess the third option could be they only called, I think he had 4 targets. So they only called 4 Marvin Harrison Jr. plays.
Now, that's criminal, by the way.
Correct.
Yes.
Out of all those options, which one do you think is the least likely? I'm going to go with the offensive coordinator one. So he's off the hook. It's either on you or Marv. Pick.
Right. If he's not open, okay, one thing. But when there's videos of him being 30 yards downfield and not blue jersey around him.
Now, there was another video.
Around him was the end zone.
There was another video that I saw that he was being a bit lackadaisical. Now, is that a route where his job was to run somebody off? Probably. You got to be
a distraction. Okay. A distraction.
You have to give effort in those routes so that they seem realistic. You can't just jog. So it's probably a little bit on everybody. The Braves have broken up their no-hitter and have scored a run. So
seems to be a trend today.
4-1, top of the 6th for the old Nats.
Can't we rely on them? But we'll get into baseball later on.
Let's have to rely on them. It's unfortunate.
With the doctors in Brazil. Vincent.
What about
it? Are we approving the doctors in Brazil? Are we okay with them, with their diagnosis? Or
we didn't. What it seemed like. So here, this is.
Or is this like Ryan Church getting flown across the country?
Exactly. That's what I got out of this. It was, okay, we don't trust anybody in Brazil was essentially the answer. Okay. We're getting them on a plane right away, and we're going to figure it out when they land. Now, it's a 10-hour flight. The guy with the bad knee leg thing on a 10-hour flight, well, it has to happen, unfortunately, is not the greatest idea. It's not the best thing for a knee. Saturday morning was stressful, I'd say. I went to the Labor Day parade to support my union brethren.
That's union.
And I stared on my phone for the first hour of the parade doesn't start till like 1 o'clock. But the walking around and mingling part, I just sat in a Starbucks and I was like, is he off the plane yet? Is he off the plane yet? Is he off the plane yet? Is he off the plane yet?
You're tracking the planes.
The fact the NFL went there, the whole trip was embarrassing.
Okay, the whole trip was embarrassing. Now, so I did see
they were all weekend too.
They were there since I think they left Friday. Wednesday. Sorry. No, they came back Saturday morning.
The teams came back, but there were a couple players that had to be that were obligated to stay Saturday for an event, and then they did a whole watch party, and they did like a WWE experience thing. So they had like a NFL day on Sunday where people can go and watch games, and they did prizes and things like that. Basically, a red zone day with prizes.
So
could be worse. Could be going to Germany to watch the Giants and Panthers.
He gets off the plane and he is walking very gingerly, but he is walking on his own. There's no visible knee brace, and he's carrying his own luggage. So you do with that what you will.
He's a bitch.
No, he's
$55 million a year. Can't even get someone to carry his luggage.
the first thing was that came out early was his ACL is fine, and the ACLs they have an on-field test. I learned a lot about knees this weekend. I'll tell you that right now.
Dr. Vin, here we go.
They have it. Oh, these Twitter doctors are out of control. I don't know how much you guys have dove into these.
Oh,
things.
I've dove into the Twitter docs.
So, his ACL was fine. They figured that out. There's a test they do on the field or on the sideline, whatever. That's like 95% accurate, and they knew that he's fine. Then it's, is it a high ankle sprain? That was the next thing. That was no, his ankle's fine. So it has to be his MCL, or it's nothing. Those are the two things at that point. It turns out it's an MCL sprain, which, if you look at the history, it's not a great indicator, because there's like Mahomes had it. He missed 2 games. I think that was last year or 2 years ago. Trevor last year,
Yeah,
and
you
didn't
played
miss
him.
any. What?
You guys played them when Mahomes had his knee problem.
Right.
Because the whole week was, am I facing Patty Mahomes? Am I facing Patty Mahomes? Am I facing Patty Mahomes?
You're right. So that was 2021, because it was
So fans were there.
Rodgers, and I think it wasn't Alex. Obviously, it wasn't Alex Smith, but like
Chad
Matt Moore.
Chad Henne. I think
I
they
don't
brought
know.
in Matt Moore. They
might have brought in Matt Moore. It wasn't. I don't think it was Henne. Anyway, so he missed 2 games. Lawrence had it last year. Didn't miss any games, but they didn't go so well afterwards. So
he couldn't move after that.
Right. So where we're at the moment is, again, Matt said today, when asked where the door is, I guess is a weird way to phrase that question. He said the door is pretty open to him playing. Now, again, I think it's a little bit of gamesmanship.
For sure.
Personally.
Give him at least a week or 2.
So it comes down to, they play the Colts this weekend, and they play the Titans next weekend. And then they play the Vikings week 4.
All right. So you need him week 4. Got it.
Essentially is where we're at. We need him week 4. Now,
you're happy with 1 and 2.
That's where I'm at. This week is at home. I think next week is in Tennessee. Yes, next week is in Tennessee. So you come out of that 1 and 2, and he's playing against the Vikings. I'm personally happy. Now, can they win a game without him? I think so. I thought Josh Jacobs looked pretty good after he got going a little bit. The field conditions. Oh, that was the other thing I meant to say. They said the grass is very similar to the grass at Lambeau. They just weren't ready for it, I think. Nobody was ready for it. Both you guys saw, both teams wasn't ready for it.
Saquon's first 2 plays.
Saquon was fine. What was his?
No,
the first 2. He slipped on the first 2 plays. Yeah.
Yeah, and then after, I guess he got the right cleats going.
Yeah,
and
he had to change it.
Yeah, and so game wise in general, disappointing, because I thought they outgained them. I think they won the turnover battle. I thought they played better. They did a good job of containing Jalen running wise, really, until the last drive. He had a couple.
Yeah.
But they contained them pretty well, which is, a lot of people are saying Lane Thomas pretty much shut down Rashawn Gary. And he did to an extent.
Lane Johnson.
I don't know why I said Lane Thomas, because I'm watching the Nats game. Lane Johnson. But I think he was in a bit of, rushing, spy, contain. Contain is the word I was looking for. He was containing a little bit more.
Makes sense.
Disappointing, but
you just have to get there, get out of Brazil alive, and unfortunately, you basically didn't.
Correct. At that, if he doesn't miss any games, obviously you made it out alive. If they're 1 and 2 going into the Vikings
or
game,
minimal damage, yeah.
Correct. They made it out alive. If they're 1 and 2 going into that game, they made it out alive. Honestly,
it's crazy that how much they foreshadowed him getting hurt by making the trade for Malik Willis like 3 days before.
Yeah. Well, they had no faith in their backups.
Clifford, yeah. So.
Which was weird. The Clifford move was weird because he got outplayed significantly in the preseason and training camp by their third stringer whose name is escaping me at the moment. They drafted him. I think he went to Tulane. They drafted him in like the 7th or 8th round. I mean, 7th or 6th round. 8th. This past draft, and then they kept Clifford on the practice squad and cut that guy. So I guess they trust Clifford more because he's been with them a year already.
He knows the offense.
Yeah.
He usually keep the guy around who knows the offense.
Right. So, it could have been worse. It could have been better. I'll take it. I don't know how much you guys watched of it. I know Danny and I were talking. The announcers were terrible. Those were.
Yeah,
was that Iron Eagle?
Yeah, it was Noah. It was Noah, and it was the Big Ten team.
It was Noah Eagle and it was Iron Eagle's son. Sorry, Iron Eagle.
Yeah, they were just.
It's Noah Eagle. Yeah, he does the Big Ten.
Did he call the game Saturday night too? Did he go?
No,
Brazil
that
to
was
Nebraska?
no. He didn't. They didn't come back. It was
okay. Because I was gonna say, why was he there and not calling? I mean, I guess he's the number 2 guy.
Yeah, I forgot who did the Nebraska game, but I forget. It was
maybe
like the
Tirico
backup.
jumped in on that one.
No, he just did football.
He only did it. Okay. I didn't know if maybe they asked him to kind of fill in.
No, yeah, it was the Big Ten primetime crew. So it was Tirico. I mean, not Tirico. It was Noah Eagle and Todd Blackledge.
Right. Yeah, I didn't like. I mean, there was like one moment at the end where they were like the Eagles got. I think they got inside the 10, and they were like, they're definitely gonna run the ball. There's no way they're throwing, and I'm like, no, they're gonna try to complete a pass and and essentially end the game. Because if they hadn't tried to do that, they just ran it and gave the clock. They would have gave us the ball back with like, I don't know, a minute left, and they killed an extra 40 seconds with it. And they just had no life. I don't know. It wasn't great.
Yeah, the whole situation. Because
it wasn't. It wasn't good.
Because Noah's really really good, obviously.
No, it's good. I did. I enjoyed him despite the way Michigan played 2 weeks ago. He was good on the broadcast. I enjoyed listening to him. Speaking of the Big Ten game, real quick. Deion Sanders is a dick, huh?
Well, yeah, that's not new.
So I guess Finn did not hear the news that the Colorado marching band is not allowed to play the fight song after Sanders scores a touchdown because Sanders has an album coming out and he wants only his music playing when his kid scores a touchdown.
It's just not going well right now for him.
And then the kid at the end of the game, maybe if I didn't get hit by the offensive throwing the offensive line right under the bus, maybe if I don't get hit, and the other guy get hit. Like, that's on your dad, not the offensive line. Your dad's the one that recruits these guys.
This
the
is
cornerback got hurt. The cornerback is the one that got hurt.
Deion is a guy that has faced a lot of criticism in his career. He's been a bit of a polarizing guy in his life. And now he's using his ability as his position as a coach to not allow those people to ask questions, right? He's banned.
He also said he's not. He won't talk to CBS. Yeah, he won't do interviews with CBS because that they ranked him as like the 11th of 12 head coaches in the Big 12 or whatever it is.
He also has said multiple times that he will not allow Shador and Travis Hunter, who he has taken a parental role for, to go to certain teams.
Right.
Correct.
This
when they
just
become
sounds like a mess.
It sounds like they're going to get held out being drafted, but it's kind of like it's similar to what happened with Ball in the NBA. My kid's only going to be a Laker whether they want him or not.
That guy disappeared, huh?
Well, the brother showed up and was like, "I'm a lot better than him." So,
no, I meant the dad.
Yeah, because they basically fell off the cliff. Yeah,
because the kid that he saw as the bank
one
fell
of them
off.
is good though.
Yeah,
Lonzo stinks. LaMelo's good though.
Yeah,
correct, but
he hasn't done much.
He hasn't done enough.
Hurt, right?
The other one went to college for the year, played a little bit, did the whole thing. The LaMelo, I think, went to Europe, right, or Spain, something like that.
He went foreign.
He went out of country to avoid college.
Players playing bad has never stopped usually hasn't stopped people from talking in the past, especially ignorant parents.
The thing with Sador is he is really good, but
The talent is there.
The talent is there, but unfortunately, he has to
Being coached
play. He has to play video game style, and I think that's going to be interesting to see what happens when he actually has to like run a real offense.
Is his
Sure.
brother younger?
He's a linebacker or a corner. I forget. I think it's
but he's
safety.
young.
Or-
He's a
or
year younger,
safety.
right, or something like that.
Yeah, he got hurt.
maybe.
He's out for the
Yeah,
season.
he broke his arm.
Yeah.
Like
Which
I
is
want
apparently going pro. Also, apparently they're both going into the draft. This is what Dion keeps saying.
We'll
somehow.
see.
Here's the only out of the three. If you're gonna include Travis Hunter in the mix, he's the most talented player of all.
Well, yeah,
considering he plays 120 fucking plays a game.
That's the thing
the
with
scary
Travis.
part. Future,
and he's much better at wide receiver.
He's the guy.
Is he better at wide receiver?
He looks better.
He's the wide receiver
was the number one
that will also
corner.
do your kick returns and then be your punt returner when you need a big one.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I've always heard people say he's like a better corner than he is a receiver.
That's how he got to Dion, but
now he's developing more into a receiver.
I mean, look at those catches he made 2 weeks ago.
I think in general, if he's going to be used in the NFL, it would be easier to use him as a every down corner and then mix him in an offense than it is to have him play every down receiver.
Yeah, I also don't think they're going to really be doing that in the NFL.
I mean, they did
it depends on what team he goes to. I mean, but out of all of them, he's the one that I would draft. If I'm going to draft one of the three, I would take him over the other one. Essentially, not saying the New York Giants should draft Travis Hunter in the first round next year in the top 2 picks that they're going to have in the battle of who gets their first overall pick in Germany.
Well, I mean, let's get into that, I guess.
Punishment for Germany.
The Giants in general.
So I sat in the lower bowl for this game, and might I say that there's a couple people down there I know, right? Smart people, but then I bought a StubHub people are dumb as shit.
Why is that?
Like literally, it says right on the scoreboard, inactives today. Tommy DeVito.
Mm-hmm.
So all they did the whole game was chant for Tommy DeVito to come into the game.
Yeah, we had a couple of those people too.
I was like, they literally have to kill Daniel Jones and kill Drew Lock for him to be eligible to take a snap.
I think most of it is also tongue in cheek.
Right, people want to see him play because of last year. They enjoyed it; it was fun. They figured if we're going to be trash, let him play.
Yeah, I think that's mostly.
That's what it comes down to. But again, I'll tell you this: he looked like shit. Daniel Jones.
Yeah,
I don't care what anybody says.
The ghosts.
The ball was behind every receiver. Every pass to Theo Johnson was like, "Oh, tight end's supposed to catch it. He's supposed to be good. We drafted him early." No, the ball when he's running past the football because the ball was thrown 10 yards behind him.
Right.
He doesn't have Mr. Fantastic arms and can just stretch backwards and catch the ball.
The one play that before the interception in the end zone, it was coming towards us, Steve.
Yes.
When
I called it.
When he overthrew 5'7" Wan'Dale Robinson as if he was Randy Moss, I'm like, what are we doing?
He saw the Viking jersey and thought it was like, Randy Moss is
what are we doing? It's not like it was like Randy Moss and he overthrew him by 30 feet. It was like, oh, Randy would have made an awesome play. Wan'Dale Robinson is like 5'8", and what are we doing? It was just
So then you mentioned the next play, which was the pick 6 into the end zone, right?
No, that was the pick in the end zone. The pick 6 already happened. That was the drive.
Oh, I didn't see. We were already at the car by the time that pick happened. So the pick 6, the drive right going into that drive, right? I had my phone in the cup holder. I look up, I look at the setup, and I see 4 receivers not knowing how to stand on one side of the ball. I look down, I go to grab my phone, and I just go, we're about to do something really fucking stupid.
Yep.
Hike right in the end zone. No hesitation.
Yeah.
And people are gonna be like, "Oh, that's gotta be on the play calling." I'm sorry, but when you're at the line, it's no longer on the play caller. It's what is the quarterback seeing, especially after 15 seconds in the play clock. There's no more communication. So even if someone sees something upstairs, they can't yell down, "Danny, don't be stupid."
I lean play calling on that. I know it looks awful, but it's like
you got to be able to read that safety. At least throw a pump fake, make the guy jump, and then throw it like over him or something.
The design of that play is he has to get the ball out. That's the point. They're getting the ball out to Wan'Dale quick.
And Van Ginkel made the right. He's like, "Oh, gee, I wonder where this is coming." This
Right,
is our third wide receiver screen.
Yeah, they lined up trips and then motioned somebody behind them. What the fuck do you think is going to happen? So I kind of lean on that's on Daboll or whoever's calling the plays.
No, it's him.
It's
him.
And so on that one, yeah, you go him. But like you said, everything's behind everybody. Everything's overthrown. Balls in the dirt. And he just
and I don't
even
know if
in
you
the
wanna,
running
you
is
want to
not
look at
there
it
anymore.
as
He has no energy
time.
running. There's no burst.
No energy because he keeps running to the side where Andrew Thomas isn't.
Honestly, he heard footsteps, and honestly, the 5 sacks they said on PFF, that 3 of them were Daniel Jones' fault. I thought the offensive line played okay, passing wise. Were they great? No, but we need them. We just need them to be average, and unfortunately, Daniel Jones is shell shocked now, and there you go. So
the biggest thing was like you said, they played well. He had the time. And then he would step in the throw and it'd be 10 yards behind the guy or 5 feet over the guy's head. And you'd be like, guy, that's like an NFL throw. Like people were chanting for Eli Manning to put his pads on at halftime.
I don't know if you listen to Papa and Carl Banks' podcast, but Carl was like, when they were talking to LT before the halftime show, he's like, dude, we can get 22 guys in this whole group and we would kick their fucking ass. It's like, so, but it's over for Daniel when Tiki, Carl Banks, and Bob Papa are basically
ripping
not defending him. Yep. So Fat Lady is humming.
See, my only thing with the Eli is that I've been saving up to go see him get into Canton next year. So I don't want that clock to restart. So let's keep him out of bed. Put Phil in bed. We can reset his clock.
He can restart Phil's clock.
It's unfortunate.
Phil needs a restart on his clock to see if he can get it. So we'll put him back out here.
It's unfortunate, but it's kind of funny that I think about it. In 2021, I think the Packers were here. Was that 2021?
It was 2019, his rookie year.
No, I think they've been here. They've been here after that.
Yeah, they've been here. I think they've been here since.
I believe 2021 they were here. It snowed. If I'm not mistaken.
That was 19. That was 19.
That was 19.
Yeah, that was Daniel Jones' rookie year, and he got hurt that game.
That's a surprise.
Yeah, that was the game that let Eli play the next 2 weeks.
Considering the 2021 Giant final roster has Jake Fromm and Mike Glennon as listed.
Yeah, we didn't play the Packers that year.
Yeah, 31-13. Yep. Yeah, okay, this is the game. I came to that game.
Yeah, it's
great, wonderful, good time, and on the way home, which was starting in the third quarter because it got out of hand pretty quick. Bob Papa and Carl Banks were having a conversation about the state of the Giants and how bad it was. That was 5 years ago.
Yep, you're 6.
Again, this was the bad stuff of Daniel Jones hadn't happened yet.
And that was when, all right, Daniel Jones wasn't scared of throwing the deep ball. Yeah, he threw a lot of turnovers and interceptions, but he got neutered with Garrett and Joe Judge and the injuries. And then, honestly, last year, shell shock again. It's just, it is what it is, man. He just couldn't do it. A lot stacked up against them. And
so
they haven't done anything to help him in a way.
Well, this year they did.
I mean, this year, they did. And I'm really excited to watch Jaden Daniels, and I'm sure Neighbors is also.
I mean, it's only a matter of time before they decide that he's officially
I
not the guy.
said you make the trade, Burrow for Daniel Jones.
It's only a matter of time before they decide they don't want to risk his injury and they put in Drew Lock, and then that's it.
Yeah, I think this week he's going to play fine. This week he's going to play fine against Washington. It's going to be the
fine against Washington.
That's my point. And then the following week against the Browns, it's going to be interesting. And then Cowboys is his swan song. Thursday night, prime time. Yeah.
Okay.
Typical Daniel
and then
Jones.
Drew Lock revenge game in Seattle.
Okay. I mean, I guess
first week of October.
I don't know, man.
Literally, and then the following week, the Sunday night football game, they should just swap. They should be allowed to swap quarterbacks and see what happens. No practice for either guy on either team.
What's Sunday night football? What were they playing Sunday night football?
That'll be the Bengals.
Bengals are here.
Yeah. You sure you want Joe Burrow? They didn't look. I don't know.
That wrist looks kind of. I mean, funky over there, huh?
He'll be fine, but they did not look good on Sunday at home against a terrible team.
Like I was telling my friend Rio, big Commanders fan and content creator. If we beat them on Sunday, just like quit on your season. Just pack it up. Jaden's gonna be good. You could tell Jaden's gonna be good. It's just we're dead. They're like legitimately dead. They have. There's no life. There's nothing in the Giants organization right now.
Is it a 1:00 game?
Yeah.
That game, yes.
1:00. All right. I know you said he plays well against Washington.
No, he's in the league because of Washington.
Yeah, they lost the game that ended up making them get what's his name from Ohio State.
He's in the league.
The defensive lineman.
He's on the team because of a game against the Vikings. That's the only reason he's still on the team.
Agreed, but if you go to his record before that, and he's only lost one game against Washington, and that was because of stupid penalty, and then that's high. Like, for whatever reason, he shows up against Washington. But I don't expect much. I mean, what's there to expect? We've seen enough.
That's it.
Don't worry, Ben. Next year there'll be Giant Packer tickets, plenty available.
I'll be
watch
there.
Drew Lock versus Jordan Love, and
I mean, at that point, you should have a high enough draft pick to take somebody.
Yeah, but this was the year to take somebody, and they decided against it to see if they could.
But there's always a year. There's still good guys in this year's class that could pop up like every year.
I mean, listen.
Not every year is a Kenny Pickett year.
Right, but it comes down to, do you trust Shane? Right, Shane is aware of what's going on.
Yeah,
so he's sitting there.
Have been really bad.
Well, you're sitting there at 6. And you have to make your decision of whether you want JJ or whatever Michael Penix. I don't know why I forgot Michael Penix's name for a second.
Bo Nix, and what's his face?
Or I guess I don't think really Bo Nix was a realistic guy. I think
he wasn't either. I'm just stating.
It's JJ, right? Well, just narrow it down. It's JJ. Or you want whoever's coming next year. They wanted a quarterback. It was clear as day. So it's either you like the guys next year or you like JJ. I hope their answer was they like Beck or whatever. Probably not Shedeur.
Clearly was.
So of 11 hours ago, Walter Football has Sanders going 1 to Carolina, which means we're going to win the Germany game. Or they may just cancel that game and say both teams can have the week off and just hang out in Germany.
I already disagree, but I'll let you continue.
And then Travis Hunter will go 2 to the Giants.
That would be a terrible mistake.
Yeah, but that means you're looking at a quarterback either later in the draft or you're picking one up as a free agent.
Okay. I mean, there's not. It's
not. You're not paying Daniel Jones next year.
I know. So if you're not paying Daniel Jones and you're not drafting somebody with the 2nd overall pick or the 3rd overall pick or whatever pick they get, then you're playing a mediocre person and trying and deciding you want Archie Manning. That's the decision at that point.
No, please, we're not doing this.
Danny,
Listen, I'll tell you this.
I know it's
I said it to a couple people.
This is
I
like
missed the game
can't-
Saturday. I missed the game Saturday. The Texas Michigan game. I was working. I missed the game. Right.
Mhm.
I saw the numbers online. I watched the highlights after the day, and I said to a couple people, if you tell me I'm gonna have a top 5 pick, and you love Ayers out of Texas, I'm in.
Fine. Yeah.
Bring him in. Bring him in.
He was the guy I forgot. It's Beck, Cam, or Shador. There's 3 people. Danny,
And
we're
then
not going to do the Arch Manning thing for 2 years. I promise. I'm just saying, in the scenario that Steven laid out, if you're taking Travis Hunter next year, it means
You're
want
waiting
Arch
for
Manning.
you're waiting
That's
for
the
Arch
answer to
Manning.
that question.
If we're
But it's
taking
not very-
Travis, if we're taking Travis Hunter, I'm not gonna be mad. But Finn, just fucking shoot me in the head.
But you get it. That's obviously the answer. The problem, and it's 100% going to be the answer. I'm not even going to bring that up. If it gets to a situation,
just bring it up. Just bring it up. You can't just do that. Bring it up.
If they get to a situation where they take Travis Hunter, because it's stupid, it's probably not going to happen. The person making the decision to draft Travis Hunter will not be the person making the decision to draft Arch Manning. It'll be 2 different people, and it'll be 2 different people coaching them. So I don't. Those guys. While I like Brian Dable.
Yeah, and I think I like Dave's too, but I'm over with and I've been banging the table all off season, but he could have fought for a quarterback with no problem.
When you watched the HBO, the Hard Knocks, there was no pull on his option. Oh, I like this guy. I like this guy. Oh, I like this guy.
Well, other than May. May was the only.
May was the only one like. Which
and he liked Jaden. I think he liked Jaden, but May was his.
But he got Shane to at least tell New England, if you don't want to pick at 3, call me.
But that's like me going to you in fantasy. Hey, Steve, who's your best player? Okay, I'll give you. All right, no problem. Like
that. You would have had to blow them away to get that to happen. They would have had to say it's more. We like 3 first-round picks. More.
It was basically
we'll take
go sit at an
and
amusement park and call him. Basically, Mara had to take Shane to the amusement park and sit him down and tell him about the rides, and then be like, "We need to make a splash."
No, that's what it would. Yeah, it would have been. They really, really wanted him. They're overpaying, and the Pats like, okay, we'll take whatever your overpay is, and then we'll go get JJ at 6, and that'll be that.
Right.
Yeah.
That wasn't their decision. They can't. They're not leaving the next year without a quarterback. No, you can't. It's impossible. So
yeah, they'll get another. I mean, if it's as bad as we could see it happening, I don't see them surviving. But here we go again.
Do they even survive this? Listen, okay. There's a couple things we have to go over.
And then the whole continuity of everything is fucking dead again.
Correct. I see the Vikings a lot more than you guys. The Vikings won 7 games last year with nothing.
Well, O'Connell is a very good coach.
Yes.
I love him, man.
He's phenomenal.
No, he's the coach. They went 3 and
man.
What were they? They went 3-7 without Kirk. Right. That's not great. But if you watch,
confident. They were confident.
If you watch what they had at quarterback, right. Josh Dobbs won a couple games, and then once that wear off, they had nothing left. They were down to their 4th and 5th quarterback.
And JJ was hurt too.
So it was like the Vikings are a lot more talented than people gave them.
No, they are.
The national credit gave them credit for.
I think where I'm pissed about Sunday, and then we got to do picks.
Yes.
What I'm pissed about, it just seemed like there was zero thought into either side of game planning, and then that one pass interference, I didn't think it was. No one thought it was, but it was pass interference.
The one they called on the
Dory. Yeah,
definitely was not pass interference. That was the first drive. That just really set a bad tone.
And then you make 2 good plays to JJ, and you're just like, oh, well, that's what happens when you got a guy, you know?
Correct. You have a guy.
And
it's nice to have that guy.
Them going 99 yards was demoralizing, but the defense played okay. I mean, offense, the offense couldn't do anything.
Regular bend don't break, and
right. And then the fact that Burns and Thibodeau didn't do anything.
Well,
that's what's gonna happen.
It's not good when you pay a guy that much money to go with your first round pick and they do nothing. I mean, Dex was on an island pretty much,
and he still did
trying to do things. He still did pretty well.
Got that sack at the first drive.
Yeah,
we don't deserve Dexter.
3 points off that fumble
did not
was the entire game.
Yeah,
that right there.
Him.
New York
it's
Giants.
The same old bullshit. New York football field goals with Graham Gano as their star.
If Dayball had the balls there, go for it. First drive of the season, you felt confident forcing the fumble on the drive right before that.
Honestly, if Daniel Jones showed a real heartbeat and a pulse, I'm agreeing with you on that. But
he's
a corpse. He's a corpse.
And you never ran the ball. Felt like they never went to run the ball.
No, the one play that really infuriated me, Steve, was that 1 3rd down.
Did you stay the whole game, Danny?
No, after the interception in the end zone. With me, it was they did a QB sweep, like we're fucking army.
Where everybody went.
The whole team, everybody saw the play coming, and it got shut down. And it was like, this guy just came back from a knee injury. He's Frankenstein with his neck. What do we do?
This was in the red zone, right? On like one of the early drives.
No, I don't remember if it was a red zone, but it was in like the 50, around the 50-45 area. And it's just like, what are we doing?
I thought they ran one when they got in the red zone with the fumble too. Because I remember seeing
they did run down there, but it was like 2nd down. So they had another down.
I know I'm going really grainy, but the fact that we don't have 50 guys on our signed roster when we know our punt returner and kick returner is hurt, and then he warms up and gets re-hurt, and then we have to have Darius Slayton go out there and he muffs the kick, and it's just like, what are we doing? Just don't touch the ball.
And on top of it, you re-signed Adoree Jackson, who was essentially your punt returner.
Well, he got hurt like that, so they didn't want to do it.
And we all called it, do not put him back there. We are very shallow at cornerback. First punt return, his knee gets blown out, and then we have, I don't even remember the cornerback we had.
I don't know how much you guys watch. I mean, you weren't watching a lot on Sunday. You were at the game. But there was not. I mean, I think somebody ran one back. Maybe the Bears or the.
There was somebody. There was a team that had the first.
Somebody ran a touchdown back, but there was a lot of teams that just said, "We'll give you the 30. We don't really care."
Like, no, it's.
So I didn't realize that
not
if
even
the ball bounces in that landing zone and then goes out of the end zone or goes in the end zone, you get it on the 20, not the 30.
Yeah, correct. Teams are just like, here you go.
They're just.
It's essentially they were hoping to get more kick returns out of this with less injuries, but essentially the teams are just kicking it deep.
Correct. They're just saying we'll give you 5 yards at the extra 5 yards, and they don't care.
Alrighty. So week 2, starting Thursday night in Miami. Hopefully, no arrests on the way into the game.
Jeez.
Or maybe I do, because Tyreek I have in 2 leagues, so maybe I want him to get arrested again before the game. Because I don't know how many catches, but 80 yards and a touchdown is an 80-yard touchdown works for me every week. Essentially, I don't need him getting arrested before the game to get an 80-yard touchdown catch out of him.
No, he could just do that.
He could do that. He could do that without the arrest. Bills woke up in the second half. It seems like.
Yeah.
Dolphins also looked a little sluggish early, but I guess they were dealing with a little bit more than Buffalo did. But Miami's at home. September. They don't lose in September.
Both their running backs are banged up, but we don't know if Morsert
is out.
And then A-Chain is game.
A-Chain was a light go though today, so he did all his regular work, but on the side away from the team.
Yeah, Miami Heat. I'm going Dolphins still in a close game. They'll win by like a field goal or something because of the Heat in Miami at the end of the game.
I'm going with the Bills. I thought they Once they figured it out after a bad first half, they looked like themselves.
Once they realized that Josh Allen was the best player on their team.
Well, it wasn't even them realizing it. He just went nuts. He just it was they were dropping back to pass, and he was like, "Fuck this, I'm running." He went full like Kobe mode. It was nuts.
You automatic. They say you automatically shut off a Bills game when Josh Allen hurdles. It's over. It means he's feeling it.
Derek Carr, man.
No, Vin, come on, stop it.
He was showing it.
I mean, granted, the Browns looked awful.
I'm going Cowboys,
but I'm going Cowboys in this game.
I'm also taking the Cowboys, but I'm just happy for Derek Carr. And
against the Panthers, big deal.
I'm still happy.
You're just
for
excited
him,
because that puts his name to be available come trade deadline if it ends up being Jordan Love's news.
Danny, the Giants would be a 7-win team if they had Derek Carr.
I know. I still don't like it.
Derek Carr is going to be a starting quarterback next year for the New York Giants.
Let's not do that.
Or the Packers quarterback if, Jordan Love steps on the field and goes out.
I mean, we'll see.
Listen, the Niners are holding out McCaffrey this week because of the field in Minnesota. So,
are they going to get in trouble for what they did this weekend?
No, they already said no.
Well, they should, because they very blatantly.
You're just mad because they have another undrafted rookie, undrafted running back that's really good.
40 years of the Shanahan coaching. It's just simply amazing.
Correct, but they blatantly didn't put someone.
I'm aware. I'm aware.
But everybody knew he was hurt.
Thankfully, I didn't need him. I lost already, so it didn't matter. So it
is just the Shanahan way, I suppose.
No head coach has more undrafted rookie running back rushing yards than Shanahan.
Why did they go out and spend the picks and the money that they needed to get him if they know they don't need running backs?
Because essentially he is the best player on the team. For most games, they do need him out there.
That doesn't make a lot of sense.
Lions didn't look great. But
the Rams are good. So
yeah, I'm going Bucks. They're gonna cover.
But Baker looked like he's ready to go.
He looked like he played in Oklahoma. That one touchdown to Evans.
Non-playoff Oklahoma.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Good disclaimer, Ben.
They got trounced in those playoff games.
Yeah, they were like Notre Dame.
Bad.
Well, yeah, they were in that they were in the they unfortunately was the team that got killed by LSU that one year in the Peach Bowl.
Right, but it was also like
and then Kyler, and then that was Jalen Hurts.
We don't play defense in the Big 12.
that was Jaden Hurts. That was Jalen Hurts, and then Kyler got murdered in another one too.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, Colts.
Yeah, I'm
going into Lambeau.
Anthony Richardson on those two throws looked amazing.
They looked really good. Essentially, there's a lot of weapons in Houston that came down to.
He only completed 9 passes.
Yeah, but that one pass was Josh Allen.
The one was crazy.
Joe Flacco was literally like, I've never seen anybody do that.
Yeah, that was
been
like
in this league for 1
honestly,
years.
it's him and Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Listen, maybe Richardson was balling last year till he got hurt. So the key is, can he stay healthy this year? And we'll see what happens.
He's balling now. He just has a big arm, and
yeah.
There's not a lot of finesse there, but they did keep that game very close. I am taking the Colts because I have no faith.
Malik Willis.
Love us. If it's Malik Willis, you could bet the house on the Colts at 3.5. Can I tell you something? Malik Willis has started 3 games in the NFL. 3. Has never thrown a touchdown pass since then.
They gave the same thing in Tennessee.
The first 2 games.
Wasn't he in Tennessee, Danny? That's where he got drafted out of, right?
Yes.
The first 2 games he played, he threw like 10 and 13 passes. And then the last game, they let him actually throw the ball. He threw, I think, 23 passes, and it was picked off twice. But they won a game. They won one of the games, obviously, because they have Derrick Henry, but they won one of them. So if you have Josh Jacobs, could be a good week for you.
Jets in Tennessee.
The Jets are going to bounce back.
Yeah,
the
Justin
Titans
bouncing back.
were god awful.
That defense, man, like only the Niners would make that defense look like that.
Well, yeah, the Jets did not look good, but the Titans, they got up early. They could not do a thing in the second half. They
talk
couldn't
about
move
throws that Will Levitt's pick six. Woof.
awful. If they would have been better off just like doing the fucking water boy thing and taking 3 knees and punting, because Caleb couldn't do anything.
Right. It got to the point where Caleb looked like shit. Even with McCaffrey out, give me the Niners.
Yep.
Wow, 87%. That's a high number.
That was you played the Giants. Now you play a real team.
Now you have to play a defense that actually can stop Sam Darnold.
We shall see.
The Patriots
Seattle going to New England.
I'm hammering Seattle on this one. I don't think the Pats are that good.
I think Bengals are just. The Bengals are hurting because they won't pay their wide receivers.
It was just a bad game. Nobody had any preseason or anything.
All right.
They'll figure it out.
Woo.
Wow.
89%.
Minus 2.5.
Listen.
I'm sorry I made some money on you guys this weekend.
Oh,
I'm honestly, with the way we looked, I'm calling Washington. I'm going to go with Washington.
Yeah.
I'm going Washington too. If you don't have your home opener with your brand new rookie quarterback ready to go,
new
to beat
ownership,
this Giant team. Well, no, they were here last year.
No more fake Sean Taylor statue because they're going to put a real one up. They finally announced.
If Washington doesn't win, just pack it up. Just pack it up, Washington.
We've played 60 minutes of football, and Danny's already at that moment.
Do you give me?
I don't, but it's just
the only thing worse than us is Carolina.
It's so deflating.
Yeah, it is.
The only thing worse than the New York Giants is Carolina.
Yeah, I don't see the Chargers beating anybody by 7 points though.
And they could beat the Panthers by.
You're right.
It's going to be a lot of close games.
Into Carolina's building for $2.
I might go.
Costs you more to get there than it will to actually go to the.
Yeah, 100%.
McAfee said the best. It's like, this is embarrassment. Like, the league's got to do something about this.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, it may be time to get rid of, like, at least consider moving football out of Carolina. At least, like the NHL did, just get it out of Arizona and see if they could figure it out for a couple of years without him. Bring it back. How did the Jaguars look over the weekend?
They choked.
They were playing the Dolphins on the road. They looked okay. I thought they looked better than the end result. I'm taking.
Browns looked like garbage.
100% awful. God awful.
Right.
Deshaun Watson, worst contract in sports.
They literally they asked the league to put him on the exempt list so they can cut him.
I mean, yeah.
That's essentially what happened there. Ravens bounced back. They looked good offensively. Just
Lamar's a little banged up.
He practiced fully today and wasn't on the injured list.
I honestly, the Raiders were in the 4 o'clock window, and I don't know what they did. I was watching the Cowboy game, and they
turned it on. They were fighting with the other team.
I think there was only 3 4 o'clock games going on, or maybe 4. Yeah. So I turned Red Zone off, and I just put the Cowboy game on. Yeah,
going Ravens.
Rams.
Yeah, I mean, yep.
Are you kidding me? I'm betting money on that one. That's for sure.
How do you have the Rams be? How?
The Cardinals are not good. I don't know where this Cardinal thing is coming from.
A home field.
No, I'm saying,
but that's still at least 2 points for the Rams.
We talked about this, Danny. The people think the Cardinals are going to be good. I don't get it.
No, I know.
It doesn't make any sense.
Well, the Steelers weren't good offensively.
They kicked
6 field goals. Yeah,
6 field goals. Defense looked good.
My coworker lost at fantasy football because of the guy picking up the Steelers kicker the day of.
From what I saw, Kirk is not. He can't really drive the ball in general. His leg is still recovering. Essentially,
what the hell are you talking about? Oh, Kirk Cousins.
I meant against the Steelers defense. Sorry. explaining that part.
Yep.
So
I'm
Well,
going
Knicks didn't
I'm
look
still going
terrible.
Steelers.
I'm going Steelers too.
I'm gonna mix it up.
Second NFL game going against the Steel Curtain.
First two games on the road. Interesting.
At home.
TJ was fucking crazy though.
Yeah,
Sunday.
well, TJ's
he's always.
That's
I know,
what
but
he
he was
is.
all over the fucking place.
Give me Chiefs.
Yep.
You Chiefs. Bengals are too dysfunctional. They're going to be that team this
Burrow, he beats them though, but I'm gonna
Yeah.
go with the Chiefs.
Wow. Nobody wants to watch this Sunday night.
Hammer the Texans.
year. Hammer.
Caleb looks like poopy poop.
Then this is the Eagles all the way.
Yeah, like I said, Kirk is not definitively not back.
No. And that's what I said in our preview show.
He can't.
48 and a half, by the way.
That's high. I honestly, if I would bet an under.
Is it though? Because the Eagles alone could put up 30.
Yeah, again, it's high.
I'm gonna go 45.
From what I saw,
I don't think it's that high,
Kirk,
but I think
it's not. Right now, it's not there. It could be there. It's not there at the moment. All right, Danny.
I'm gonna go. I'll go 47.
Okay.
All right, boys. Have a good week. I'll text you. I'll catch you guys later.
Everybody.
Have a good rest of the show. Later, guys.
See you later.
Vincent, I hate this fucking baseball team.
I
screenshotted what you said, by the way.
It's fine.
I'm holding this so when
I could be
either
held
don't make the
accountable.
playoffs or get swept in 2 games in the stupid wild card thing. I'd be like, yeah. And guess what? Guess what's gonna happen, Vincent? Guess what's getting added to our wonderful wild card banner when we get swept in 2 games?
Team of Destiny.
We're getting a 2024 put on that banner, Vincent.
You know what? At least it's not its own banner. It's a little better now that it's not its own banner.
That they just have all the years written on it. We're gonna need the biggest wild card banner of all time with the way this franchise is.
Okay.
We're gonna wrap around the whole stadium with wild card years.
Steven, normal 87 win teams that sneak into the last spot don't go hitless for 8 innings and then bat around. It doesn't happen. Like that's stuff of legend.
I'm sorry, but screw Ohtani. We had this conversation last week. That swing was an MVP swing.
That's an MVP moment. He hadn't been hitting for shit. Okay, so here's the other thing. It's one, we're the Mets, so we over dissect things and we overanalyze things. And 2, it's that time of the year where every game is important. He basically hadn't hit for the last 5 games, and we were starting to panic.
Correct, because we all gave him the MVP award. We all basically sketched his name right into that trophy.
I think he didn't have a hit in the Red Series, and I think he had 1 hit so far this series before that moment.
Did he win one in Cleveland?
An MVP? No.
Yeah.
I think Trout was winning them all when he was there. I can look, though.
I'm looking right now. He got 2nd place Rookie of the Year in 15, 9th in 16, 5th in 17, 6th in 18, and then 15th in 19.
Okay, so he was behind Trout, Jose Ramirez, Judge Altuve, and 16.
Okay, well, 18. In fairness, he had years where Judge was just better than everybody. He finished 9th 2 years in a row.
It was Mookie, and it was whatever.
He finished 9th the last 2 years in the National League.
Correct.
He should at least be a finalist.
I don't know what they do finalists, like number-wise, like amount of people.
3. It's usually 3 finalists. They have 3 people on the MLB Network.
If it's 3 people, he will be on the MLB Network. The other people that were in the running before, besides him and Shohei, like were Ketel Marte from the Diamondbacks when they got hot. He got hurt, and then I don't know how he's done since he came back. The guy from if you're looking purely like wins above replacement wise, It's like the guy in the Reds, Ellie De La Cruz. But he's not. They're a bad team, and that's just not happening.
Padres, what's his name on the Padres? The rookie who should be a finalist.
He's just gonna win Rookie of the Year. I don't think. I think he's not gonna win anything special. Let me just narrow this down to National League really quick. I'm on Fangraphs.
Also, Pete Alonso, clutchest at bat of his life.
Did you? I mean, so were you watching when this was all going on?
I clicked it on. I showered. I watched it. I came home. No hitter. I saw it on my phone. 7 innings. Showered. Turned on the game, and it was they were just coming back from commercial for the top of the 8th inning. So I got to watch the 6-pitch 8th inning and be like, what are we swinging at, boys? What are we going for here?
Oh, that was a disaster.
It was the moment where I was like, all right, we're getting no hit. And they kept talking about the Max Scherzer in 15. And then you're texting me about Team of Destiny. And I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, maybe they
need to get no hit.
But you got to remember, we got no hit twice that year. So we needed some no-name rookie from San Francisco to come in and no-hit us also that never pitched again in Major League Baseball after he threw that no-hitter.
I know his name was Chris Heston, but I don't know whatever happened to him. On the MVP thing, it's just him, Ketel Marte, and Ohtani. Ellie De La Cruz
three of them should end up in the. Oh,
yes.
no.
Ellie De La Cruz is third and wins above replacement. Matt Chapman is fifth. Neither of those teams are making the playoffs. You could throw Harper in there. He's close relatively.
He's been awful the last month.
I know. He's next on. Again, I'm going purely off wins above replacement on Fangraphs.
Did you see he hasn't homered in a month, and then
he hasn't homered since I think since April. What they say, August 8th or something.
And then he homered, and it got challenged because of the fan reaching over the railing to catch the ball, and it would have hit the wall and never went over. So they took the home run away from him.
Oh my! I did not see that. How are they doing right now? They were winning.
They're the Braves are losing 5-1. That's really what I care about. I don't care about
Braves are losing in the top of the ninth, 1 out.
We talked about this. Was it early August when we were seeing Blink-182? We said, "Don't worry about the Phillies. We'll play the Phillies at the end of the year, but it's the Braves essentially. If we're gonna catch anybody, it's the Braves."
I just want to know how they're doing because we're playing them this weekend. They're up 3-2 in the top of the ninth, going to the Rays are up in the top of the ninth. They have a man on. So
did he just hold? No. Ooh. Wait, was that a homer?
I think it's foul.
Oh, it was crushed.
Very close. They have won games. The Vientos walk-off Friday night. I was watching that on the iPad while I was watching the Packer game. The way these guys, Peterson.
The way they win the games, the Alvarez last month. Alvarez's first home run today since that home run, which was big. Yes. He's been having, like they said on the game, better at bats, and then he hits that ball out of the ballpark. And then Jesse Winker had the walk-off,
Yep.
He's brought into life. And then you're watching this inning, right? And Harrison Bader's standing on the top of the railing the entire inning.
That was crazy. So Pete Alonso, he's gotten the runner in from third with 2 outs 30% of the time. That's insanely bad.
209 batting average this year.
It's
going into that at bat.
It's not something I want to.
And Chad Green couldn't find the plate if it was 100 feet wide. And Pete swung at those first 2 pitches that were basically in a dugout.
Yeah, he couldn't throw his slider for a strike to save his goddamn life, and he swung at 2 of them right away. I don't know what he was thinking. I get
it. I understand all right, I could bust this game open right now.
Right.
Mindset. I get it. That's what he wants to do.
When somebody has thrown as many bad pitches as he's got to know.
He's got to know as a good hitter. If you're a good hitter, you got to know don't swing at those.
It's just he's so over anxious right now.
He wants to get out of his slump because he knows that he's in that month where it's being watched the most for where he's going to get paid.
They're
going down the stretch. They're in a stretch run. They're looking to make the playoffs. How is he playing is what teams are going to look at when it comes to how much do we really want to pay this guy.
There is no doubt in my mind he is going. What happened to Cody Bellinger and Jordan Montgomery and Blake Snell and Matt Chapman this offseason is the situation he will be in. He'll be a free agent in the month of February, guaranteed. At the minimum.
You will go into camp and he will still be available.
Pitchers and catchers will report and he will still be a free agent. If he wants the money, if he still wants the same money he wanted, he will get the pitchers and catchers without a team.
I said this to a coworker, and we got about a month and change to really discuss this, right? The biggest free agent is Juan Soto, right?
100%.
We already know, there's a good chance he stays in the Bronx, possibility, but ideally it's going to come down to 3 teams: Yankees, the Dodgers, and the Mets. Can the Dodgers afford him? Ideally, the only other team you could see would be
there's only a couple teams that can afford him. Yes, so maybe it's 5 teams that can actually afford him. But sure, go ahead.
Okay, so let's just say he says, "Screw it, I want the money. I already have the ring. I'm already talented. Let me go sign." What is he? 25, 26, 24, somewhere in that range, right?
I'm going to say 6, but in that range.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of want to know. Juan Soto. He is 20. He'll be 26 in October. Okay. Already has a ring.
He's playing his age 25 season. He will be playing his age 26 season. He's going into his age 26 season.
Does he have, what kind of awards does he have? Rookie of the Year, definitely, right?
Rookie of the Year doesn't have an MVP. Probably has.
Rookie of the Year, 9th in MVP in 19, 5th in 20, 2nd in 21, and then 6th last year.
Right. And he doesn't, and that's it. I don't know if he doesn't have a World Series MVP. That he didn't win the World Series MVP.
He didn't win the World Series MVP because didn't Strasburg win the World Series MVP?
I think so. I was gonna say Howie Kendrick, but he had a couple big hits. I think it was Strasburg. Though that you're saying it, you're right. I'm almost positive Strasburg.
Strasburg won MVP. Yes.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah. When you said it, it clicked that yes, he did.
That was the end of his life. That was the end of his base. They basically killed him to win that World Series.
Everybody involved is. I mean, he's not happy. They're fine with the situation. He's like literally fucked up bad physically. But if he kind of, forgets about pitching and gets his body right as a human being, I'm sure he's happy with that decision.
Okay, so
we're back to Soto.
Let's just say he says, "All right, I'm going to become a Met. I'm going to give them." First off, before I get into that, let me tell you the smart thing that he should do. Take a 5-year contract somewhere for whatever. Let's say stay in the Bronx.
Okay.
Stay in the Bronx with Judge for the rest of Judge's, basically, because Judge is like 30, mid 30, like early 30s.
Maybe he just turned 30. Okay, I see where you're going though. Yeah.
Aaron Judge is 32. He'll be 33 next April.
Okay. But he's
essentially, you sign a 5-year deal, you're staying with Judge for the rest of his career. Judge essentially becomes the DH. Soto's playing every day. But guess what? Now Soto at the age of 31 is a free agent again. Imagine if he's even kind of like the player he is now at 31. Guess what? He's getting another 5-6 year deal at probably triple of what he got for this deal. Anyway, that would be my, if I was him, because think about it, you win in the Bronx, you win everywhere. And if he's really smart, you take a Ohtani type deal, because if you could win in the Bronx with an Ohtani type deal where you're not really making a lot of money, guess what? You're going to be advertised everywhere. You're going to be on every billboard. You're going to be making enough money where it's basically making $100 million a year.
I mean, if I were him, I wouldn't leave Aaron Judge's side while I could.
Now back to the possibility of him becoming a Met, right?
Possible.
Let's just say he signs, right?
Sure.
Pete is what? 22 home runs away from the Met record?
Somewhere in that area, maybe 32.
Home run record.
I think he's 22 away from David.
252.
I think he's 22 away from David and 32 away from Strawberry.
So
whatever.
Strawberry's 252, and no, it's less. 252. Oh yeah, no, you're right. He's 29 away from Strawberry.
Right. Okay. Because that's what it was.
Essentially, that's a season.
For him, it is, yes.
Okay. So let's say the Mets go out and they go, hey Soto, come play right field forever. Here's 10 years. Here's 500 million.
Okay.
We'll figure it out. The furs, extra shit, whatever you need.
Whatever.
We'll make it.
The contract's going to be what he gets, Yankees or Mets, Dodgers, Red Sox, whatever. It's going to be in that area.
Right. We may have a 5-year out. You never know. Again, it essentially could have a 5-year out, so that way it becomes a free agent again at 30, 31.
I think Machado, basically what you're describing is pretty much what Machado did. And they just
Garrett Cole also. CC did the same thing. He had an out after a couple of years, took it, re-signed. Right. Cole is a free agent at the end of the year, ideally, if he wants to be. So let's just say Soto signs with them. Why not Pete say, you know what? Essentially, one season I could become the all-time Met home run leader. In one season. Figure he ends this year with 35. He's at 31 right now with 10 games, 15 games left?
15.
Give or take?
Yeah.
He'd be the king of the Mets, whether he walks after next year or not. Because it may not happen right away, but look at it. Look at Strawberry now. You can't go anywhere without Strawberry being around there.
They won a World Series, though.
I understand that, but you bring Soto in on the team they currently have, add some pitching. Then you can make a big run. Then you're ideally looking for a big run. If Cohen says 2025 is the year we're making a big run again, there's your way to do it.
I don't think personally that the Met home run thing is going to factor in his decision. It could. I don't know if it's going to. What I do think, and it goes back to what we said before about him being a free agent for a long time, it's very possible he could end up coming back in a 1-year deal or a 3-year deal with an opt-out or whatever kind of nonsense they want to do that is actually a 1-year deal. And to take another run at a contract year. To me, watching Pete as much as we have watched him, the contract issue is weighing on him right now. He's pressing. Correct. He's too aggressive. They said
today. We literally just talked about.
Again, we talked about it. He swung right away. I think they said his last. It was 6 of his 8 last homers or 8 of his last 10. It was some absurd number were on the first pitch. So it was basically he's being overly aggressive, and he's
looking for that first pitch to be striking.
Yeah,
and people are seeing it, and they're ideally throwing him pitches that he can't hit.
Well, now, yeah. I mean, at this point, it's kind of. But at some point, everybody makes a mistake, and it's, that's what happens. Home run log. Can I look at this real quick? It's not really. Oh, this is kind of what I want.
Yankees are tied at 2. Bottom of the seventh inning.
Account. Oh, there's the count. Okay. Last 2 first pitches. One before that 7th pitch. One before that first pitch. Then 6th pitch. Then second pitch, 4th pitch, first pitch, second pitch, third pitch, first pitch.
It's within 5 pitches, ideally.
It's all very early in at bats. There was a stretch where there was 3 in a row in May that were all first pitches. It's very. He's being very aggressive, overly aggressive. And it reminds me of the way he was at the end of 2019 when he was trying for the record.
Right. Overly aggressive.
But
the difference was he already won Rookie of the Year at that point. He already locked in Rookie of the Year. He ideally knew, we had a shot at the playoffs, but it was a long shot. It was a long shot.
He was just going for the record, basically.
So now he's looking at it as,
breaks lost.
I need to hit home runs because my team's in a pennant race and we need to make this happen.
Correct.
Alrighty. With that being said, final thoughts? Anything?
I hope Jordan Love is healthy and plays. And Godspeed to the New York Giants and their fans that show up every week and tailgate every week and show support and pay for their season tickets, because it's just not easy for you guys right now. And
hold the phone. When did Salvador Perez start playing first base?
I'm gonna go with this season.
Okay. Well, he just made a hell of a play to get to gun a guy out at the plate from first base.
That's ironic. Let me see.
I forgot. I didn't realize who was up. And then 11, I think, is Volpe.
The answer to your question is he has played a little bit of first base, basically since 2013. At almost all points in his career, he's played a little bit of first base. This year is the first.
This is the year.
Yes, this is the first year that. So Baseball Reference has your positions in order of how often you play them. This is the first year. Second is his second most often position. Before that, it's always been second DH and then first. I'm sorry, catcher, DH, then first. Now it's catcher, first, DH. So
I mean, it makes sense. All those years.
Yes.
I mean, we tried it with Piazza.
Yeah, correct.
We did experiment it.
And now he's not.
But it was a lot different when we did it with Piazza because there was no National League DH when we did it, essentially. So it was either catcher or first base.
But do they have? I think they have a pretty solid. They don't really have a DH. No, the person that has their DH listed as is hurt, so I don't know who DH is for them. But he's doing pretty well. He's got an 812 OPS. He's got 26 homers and 100 RBIs already. Yeah, he's doing pretty fucking good. Shout out, Salvi. Anyway.
Right. With that being said, enjoy the football this weekend. I'm going to enjoy Red Zone on Sunday.
Yeah.
This has iPad Giants and Red Zone written all over it.
Really?
We're already hit the season.
That's a tough one. We're already at that.
I don't know. It may be the other way around though, because I do want to watch Daniels, being that I have him in 2 fantasy leagues.
Sure.
Ideally. So,
alrighty.
With that being said, we will see you guys this week. Oh, reminder: 23 years. We didn't mention it earlier. I meant to. 23 years. Never forget 9/11. We are recording on 9/11, so most of you will hear this on the 12th. We'll never forget where we were, what we were doing. One of the things that does bother me is that how everyone just keeps posting the Mike Piazza home run today. You still have about 20 days until that actually happens. But I do understand it. I was there, so that's why I understand it.
It's a moment.
It is a moment. It's probably one of the greatest sports moments I've ever been a part of.
Yeah.
If not the best moment I've ever seen live.
That's got to be number one.
I don't know. I was at the Sean Bates penalty shot. So, but yeah, that's definitely one.
Shout out Sean Bates.
With that being said, we will talk to you guys next week.